right, so let me just answer your question here, Ms. Okay, so does it check batch by batch? I think it does. I can't remember how I programmed it now. I think it does. Let me just look over the code really quick. The file is duplicatechecker.py that you're looking for if you want to audit it or something. Batch list. Yeah, it should check. It should check each batch and show the duplicates for each individual batch there. Yeah.
Sorry, that was my question. Can I talk, or
Yeah.
I should leave a message?
Yep.
Yeah, because I was just wondering if it checks like batch by batch to make sure that there is no duplicate in each batch, but not in all the batches.
Yeah, so it checks them individually in each batch.
Individual each batch.
I
Okay.
think it prints out the result in the terminal, so you can take a look. I might compile it so it shows them all at once. But the duplicate checker is just like a thing if you want to make sure there's nothing. At the newest build, it should hopefully there shouldn't be any duplicates. I'm almost positive there aren't.
So if I want to make sure that there is no duplicate in like all the batches for one add-in list, I should probably maybe put more in one batch.
Yeah, so you can change in config. You can change. Let me just look.
The number of
NFTs per batch to whatever your max NFTs are, and then that'll just put everything in one batch. Yeah, you can do that as well. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Hello, new people.
What's up, guys? Dude, it's so awesome to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Dude, Torn, thanks so much for this, man. Seriously, like, as I mentioned in the chat, I was on the way of building this, and then I found Google helped me. And here I am, and I'm really excited. So thanks again for doing this.
Oh, no problem. Happy to help. All right. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes and see if anyone else drops in, and then we'll get started.
And yeah, I can confirm that now we're getting JSON files written with the extension on there. So thanks for fixing that.
Awesome. Yeah, it was literally just like one line I forgot to write.
Right.
Let me bring it up here. Nope. I forget where it is. It's like all the way down here somewhere. Oh wait, no, it was in exporter.
Are you planning to make it become an add-on for Blender?
Yeah. So it's this is it right here. Yeah. So the goal is to build out the functionality first, and then have it so that everything is like in place. All the functions are ready. Everything that you could possibly want in config is ready, and then I'll just convert it into like a button in the Blender UI or a toggle or something like that. So that's the end goal. I don't know how long that's going to take. I've looked into Blender AI stuff or Blender UI stuff, and it looks doable. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted about that.
Okay, but thank you a lot because it's a really good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I did have a quick question for you while we're still waiting for people to come in. So when we're talking about the material generation type and how it increases, obviously, the diversity, right now, the current setting is to you create your material list, right, and then you choose where you're going to apply it to in terms of like the. I'm just pulling up this file I was testing around with. Yeah, so like each sub collection. Yep. I know you mentioned that you can't have a collection of collections. Is that just like a technical limitation? Because it would be nice not to have to write all the sub collections inside of something that should house, the entirety of the material randomness, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. I think I get what you're saying. So, let me pull up the example file here. Correct me if I'm wrong when I'm explaining this. I think I want to say I think I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
So, the way the collections are set up, it's mostly just to help me understand how it works. Mm-hmm. It could be different for other people. There might be better ways to do it. But the main, I guess, the header collection, you could call it, is an attribute of your NFT. And
right.
Then the sub collections contain everything that make up that one variant of
right.
The attribute. So if you have like 100 models that make up just this one variant, you stick them all in this cube 1-33 thing here.
Right.
When you're talking about adding more collections like this, sub collections in here, you can. I want to say you can. Don't quote me on that.
I believe in the documentation.
Yeah, I think you can do sub collections like that. I'm not.
Well, so if I look in line 76 of config.py, it says a collection name can only contain objects and not sub collections. So I don't know. Maybe were you just thinking of like the top level attribute there?
Yeah, maybe I was thinking about this, like the cube. Maybe I should reword that. I want to test that now. let me just run this. Let me change this to test.
Because that's basically what I was thinking. Is let's say I want 100 different objects that could have random materials, and I'd have to load every single 100 object into that material list.
Right, I see what you mean. So let me, if that doesn't
or technically it would be color list, not material list, it'd be color list.
Yeah. Let me just get this up here. I gotta do this every time.
Right, yeah.
Hopefully with the add-on it'll speed things up. Okay, so properties. There we go. I'm just doing this because I have no idea actually. I know what you're talking about.
Sure.
But I don't know if it's possible. I think.
By the way, I just go to the URL bar in the Explorer. It's faster.
Oh really?
Yeah, if you double click on your folder.
Let me see. Oh, what I do there? Sorry, I'm not a.
Yeah, double click on that folder real quick, and then just see where it says blend. Yeah, click that, or really? Click right next to it. No, right next to it. Like you're gonna. No, keep going.
Oh.
Keep going. Right in between the main and where that down arrow is, just in the empty spot. Keep
right
a little
here?
To your. Nope, the other way.
Here.
Keep going to the left,
right
to the left, to the left. Well, yeah, that actually did it. But yeah, you can just copy that.
Oh, copy. Oh, I see. Okay.
Or if you click like right after where it says main, it basically allows you to enter in the URL.
Oh,
it's a little quicker.
Thanks for showing me that.
Yeah, totally.
I'm a Mac user, so I'm not very familiar with Windows.
I was wondering because I saw that the Mac was the default file path first.
Yeah. It's just that it's easier for me to code on Mac. I'm just faster typing than the
totally
clacky keyboards. But okay, let me just set this up. Test JPEG. Okay, so that should work. Yeah, let me just run it and see. Of course it doesn't work. Okay.
Sorry, I totally didn't mean to send you off on this track.
Oh no, it's all good. I want to figure it out now. Let's see. Yeah. All right, so it looks like that doesn't work. I could probably add that into the functionality. I believe
Yeah,
a workaround, just for now, let me just find a workaround. I believe, let me get the name of that. So if you have a collection in here, and I think if you want to copy the name of it, this is just temporary. I might add this native. So copy the name. Go to something remove. I don't know if that'll do it. Go to line 95 in DNA generator, and then copy this master collection line 95. Hold on, let me just paste this. I'm just spitballing here. I have no idea if this is gonna work.
Sure, no worries. I mean, it's like having to manually add them is a small price to pay for the utility of it. But.
Yeah, I'll probably find a way to do it automatically. It's just about the collection structure, and I got that perfectly once upon a time ago, and I have no idea how to do it anymore. So
yeah.
All right, let's give this a shot. Oof. Let me see. Oh, where'd that go? Really? Maybe I have to do it before. Oh, that might be the wrong line. Let me see. All right, copy that.
Yeah.
And then where does it create? Traverse tree. Scene collection. Same line. Remove. That should work. That's weird. Oh, maybe. I don't know, there's some line in here. It's been ages since I've looked at this code.
Worries.
Maybe it's this one. I don't know. It's somewhere in here, somewhere between line 112 and 58 that you have to put this string in here in order to get that to work, but I don't know where it is. Sorry.
Oh no, you're totally. I feel like I threw your curveball into there, so
Oh no,
no
it's
worries.
all good. Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately it just would be nice if you could have everything in a sub collection.
Yeah.
Be.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, so
The question would be whether it would work recursively. Like if I had 5 sub collections in a collection, would it assign the same material to all of them, or would it randomize for each one?
Ooh.
That I guess would be the.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. I guess it could. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I'll look into that. Story feature for another time. Let me just add that to the GitHub.
What the page started out as.
Oh no. Had a video playing there. Yeah, okay. All right, I added it to the project board, so I'll work my way through those and see about that. All right. What else? I'm just trying to think. Yeah, okay. I'm not fairly familiar with the material stuff. I know a bit how it works, but on the Blender side, I have no idea. Defect2 coded that part. Yeah, so I'll look into that, adding sub collections and all that. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right, let me do this. Oh, hold on. Oh, right, because you're open. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me refresh everything here. And then, all right. Okay, so if anyone has any questions while I go through this, I'm just going to be going through how to use Blend My NFTs with the new features that I've added in the past week. So let's get into it. So I'm going to assume that you know a bit about Blend My NFTs. I'll assume you've at least read or skimmed the README page on our GitHub. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go to and then after my slow computer loads it, Blend My NFTs, and it'll be this one here. And currently we're at 209 commit, the 209th commit. So if I'm recording this for YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube and there's a newer version out, go to the newest video on our channel, or read this README page here. It will have more up-to-date information. All right, so if you're looking to install it, then just click this green code button here and download the zip file and unzip it and move it to your desktop, just like this. So we have that all sorted out now. So this is just the main folder here. Let's open up Visual Studio Code. So this is the IDE I use. And I have Blend My NFTs main here already open. So let's go to config and let me show you guys what's new. Let me open this. All right, so this is all the same. I think I moved some stuff around here just to better organize where everything is. The most important new thing here is this exporter, this enable exporter variable and enable images and models. So let me talk a little bit about how to use it. So when you run main.py in Blender, you're generating two types of files, sorry. One will be named NFT record.json and the other will be named batch1 or batch2 or batch3.json. So it'll generate a number of batches. And then after you've generated and saved those batches, it'll do that all automatically for you. After that, you turn this on. So set this to true, and that'll turn on the exporter. So that'll tell the program to turn this script on over here, this exporter.py file here. It's a pretty beefy one. And these next two variables will determine what is exported. So if you want, say, images to be exported, you set this to true. If you want, hold on, let me, too far. If you want 3D models generated, you set this to true. If you want both is also possible. You can do this. Of course, you'd have to have a camera set up for the image generator to export images. And yeah, okay, so I've talked a bit about that. Does anyone have any questions? That's a sort of a different method from before. It's just sort of new. I thought it would work. All right, awesome. Well, let me check so if anyone has any questions here in the live stream chat, just let me know. Let me just read this really quick. Okay. Oh, he's not here. Okay. All right. All right. So let me go back to the code here. So if we're all good with that, let's see. I moved rarity up because I feel like it's out of the experimental stage, so I moved this up here. So this should work. So if you want to enable rarity, you just click true here. And then, yeah, I'll go over enable generation later. It's a bit of a beast to tackle. There's lots of stuff to do. It's straightforward after a little while, but it's a whole other thing to go into. So I'll just skip over that for now. Enable metadata is a new thing. I forget when I added it, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago, can't remember. So let's just set this to true, and let's set it to I don't know, let's go Solana. So I'm just going to come into this string here and just type SOL, all caps, and this will export a metadata format for the Solana blockchain. These links are just the sources for those for the blockchain standard. So if we go to this link, it will take us to the website where I got the JSON file format. So you can see this is the file format that the metadata will export. So if you're curious where I got those from, all the links will be here. Default is just a simple export. It just exports some basic data that the script collects from your Blender file, like the variant names, the DNA number, name, rarity, etc. So yeah, there's just a note here about that, and then there's this description thing. So you can leave this blank if you plan on changing the description when you mint your NFTs to a candy machine. But if you want to include something like, I don't know, description in this config file, it will send it to the appropriate description variable in these metadata formats. So does anyone have any questions about the metadata stuff? That's also another new feature I added.
And it's been pretty awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Awesome. All right. Let me see. Run main.py. All right, so I'm just going to answer this one question. Okay, Ms., I'm just reading your question. So I main.py, then the exporter.py itself. So that won't work, and if you really want to do it, I can show you how. It will be, let me see down here. I don't guarantee this will work, but it could possibly work. So in the exporter, so after you've generated your NFT record and batch files, in order to run the exporter individually in Blender, you can you can go to the bottom of the exporter file on line 99, copy this code right here, and just paste it right there. And that should run the exporter when you run it through Blender. I don't guarantee that will work. I switched to this method down here it'll run everything through main, so you don't have to switch between files in Blender. So I'll get into that when I talk about other stuff. So hold on. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds here. All right. Is my audio back? There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, just do that. For this tutorial, for this live stream, I'll just show you how to use it with the main.py method. Should work. I don't know, I found that easier, but if you want to modify it, you can just do that. All right, so let's just go back here. I think I have it all set up. Oh no, I don't. I have to do this. Okay. Oh, wait, no. All right, so the most important thing to do in the config file is to add your Windows path. So let me try and do it the new way I learned. Oh, it's already open. I'm blind. Can't remember where it was.
Yeah, so just click like right next to where it says main.
Main. Oh, here. There
Yep,
we go.
there you go.
Okay, I got it now. All right, awesome. Let's see. Okay, that works. Thank you so much. All right. So we have our path here. Let's go up to the top of the file and look at this thing. So this is the name, so you can just do whatever you want to do. So for this tutorial, I'll just do test. And this will be the name that your image exports as. So if you want to, whatever your JPEG or PNG or object file will be, this will be the name of that file. So another thing to note as well, that there will be a number that will be added here to the end, just to increment and change the name a bit so that each one is different. It's just a file sorting thing. So if you want to like specify with a underscore or dash or something just to move it away from the name, then that's just a heads up, I guess. All right, so this next one is the image file format. So you can come down here and select PNG or JPEG. They do have to be capitalized, so if you want to do JPEG, you do JPEG. For this tutorial, we'll just do JPEG. If you want more exotic file formats, you can come to this link down here, and it'll take you to this page right here that has BMP, IR. I don't even know half of these. There's like a whole bunch of them. So these are all the file formats Blender can export as. I just put PNG and JPEG here for convenience because they're the most widely used ones, but I didn't even know that half of these existed. Anyway, so if you're interested in that, then just go there. So this is the object format export right here. So here you can specify the object type. So Blender supports FBX, JLB, OBJ, and X3D. And you can just, copy and paste these into the string up here. So for this tutorial, let's do JPEG, or JLB. JPEG and JLB. All right, and another thing to note, these three variables have to be filled in before you run the scripts. I've noticed a bunch of people don't. The most common issue I find when helping people troubleshoot is these things aren't filled in yet. So let's just set it for 10 for this tutorial or this live stream, and 1. So what this will do, this will limit the maximum number of NFTs by 10. This one, NFTs per batch, will export 10 NFTs per batch. So because max NFTs equals 10 and NFTs per batch is also 10, we'll only get one batch. So if we want to generate like 5 batches, we'll do 50 NFTs as our max NFTs. And then this number specifies the the batch number to render when we run main.py with these set as true. So because we haven't generated the NFT record and the batches yet, we're going to turn this off. So let's just set that to false. Let's go here and open up the folder for Blend My NFTs. So in this example folder, I have an example.blend file. And an important thing to note when you're running Blend My NFTs is that your Blender file needs to be inside the Blend My NFTs folder. I'm going to try to find a way around this in the future, but just the way Blender and Blender's directories work, it's kind of funny. So this is the only way I've managed to get it to work so far. So let's open this up. Now, because I'm on Windows, I don't have to open it up through a terminal. If you're on Mac, you'll have to open it up. I recommend you open it up through a terminal so that you can see the console and the console logs. So if you're on Windows, you can just open this up here, go to Window, and then toggle System Console, or System Terminal Console. Get those two mixed up. So this will just show you all the output print statements that main.py will print to the console. So it's just good to have this open. So we have the example file open now. This is what it looks like. Not very exciting. Just a couple of empty collections and some spheres and cubes and stuff like that. So I'll probably work with Devlin to get a better one set up right now, but I'm not very skilled in Blender, so we'll do that in the future. All right, so to run a script, go to the scripting tab up here. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube that'll show you how to do that. So how to run scripts. So let's just go through this. So I'm just opening main.py. This is the only file we have to open up in Blender. If you don't have the text editor, you can open up config here and do all the editing I just showed you in VS Code in Blender. I don't particularly like Blender's text editor. It's a pain to work with because it doesn't have auto saving, and it doesn't have the fancy highlights and colors and stuff like that. So whatever, that's just for simplicity, if you want to do it through here, it's perfectly fine. Just always remember to go up to, I forget where it was now, to text, go up to text and save every time. Because if you don't do that, it won't save and the program won't work. All right, so let me close this. Now we have main open here, and everything should work. I'm just gonna say that every time, because it never always works the first time. Oh, it worked the first time. All right, awesome. So I ran the script in Blender. I ran main.py. We have it configured right now so that it will generate the data that we need for our NFT collection. And let's check out what it exported here. So in Blend My NFTs main, we have NFT record here. Let's open this up, and it says we have 50. So this is the ledger, basically, ledger of all your NFTs. So you can come in here and see everything, your Blender hierarchy, the DNA list, and the count, the number of NFTs generated. So this DNA is basically just a representation of a possible NFT that you want to generate, and the numbers here correspond alphabetically to the collections, the attribute collections. So the first number, let me minimize this and move it over. Window management. All right, so the first number in this DNA will be, will be area light, because that slot is alphabetically organized. So whatever's first will be in that first slot. So let's see. Okay, so that number's 2. So we in that one NFT, the area light that's selected is number 2. And then you can just go on throughout the other ones and say, okay, so let's look at cube, see which cube is selected. So we have cube number 2, and this will be this cube here. So because we have rarity turned on, I believe, yeah, okay, I remember to do that. So because we have rarity turned on, and we have rarity here set to 33% for cubes 1 through 3, but then only 1% for cubes, cube number 4, we should only see, in this selection, we shouldn't really see many cube number, hold on, cube number 4s, right? So let's just look up 4 and see how many 4s we get in this one column here. So we get 1, that's good, but we just get 1. So there's only one 4 in this column here for the cube variant, for cube number 4 here. So that means that we get it about 1% of the time. It's not going to be accurate because it's randomly generated. So it's about 1% of the time. The more NFTs that you have here in your max NFTs, the more accurate that percentage will be. So talked a bit about that. Does that make sense for everyone? Do we have any questions? All right.
Did you ever confirm if, because I saw you'd linked to that, sorry, I saw you'd linked to the explanation earlier, but like if you have numbers that go above 100%, I think you mentioned it just takes all of it together.
Yeah, so if we go, I forget what that explanation was. So let me just walk through it. So yeah,
it was in Dev Talk.
I think it'll work. Dev Talk. I pinned it. I added it to FAQ. So this is the setup for Cube right here in the Blender file I have. So we have 33%, 33, and 1, and that all adds up to 100. So that's good. That works. So let's try 50% for each of these. So 50 times 4 is 200. So we'll have I forget the math I did here. We have 50. Yeah, so let's try that out. Oh, oh God. Launched Fusion 360 by accident. That's the wrong program. Okay.
Wrong one.
Let's close that. All right, let's try. I think it should work. It's just easier to make everything add up to 100 because
totally.
Whatever, it just makes sense. But just for funsies, let's see. Overclock it. Okay. Let's run it. Okay, it did print out something. So let me just do the math here. So we have 4 variants. 4 times 50 is 200%. And then 50 divided by 200 times 100. Yeah, so we should get cubes 1, 2, 3, and 4 25% of the time. So we have, let's control F, 4, and we do get 4 a lot more now. So I think that'll work. I don't have any way to prove it to you that it works by the percentage, but because we see 4 here in slot 2 more than once, I'm gonna say that it worked because we do have a pretty even distribution here. So let's go 1. So yeah, we see 1 quite a bit there, 2 quite a bit there as well, 3 not at all. What happened? Oh wait, no, yeah, there's 3 there, and then 4. Yeah, so that's how the math
works. And obviously our sample size is kind of small right now. So
yeah. So if I turn this up to, I think I can go 250 with this. Let's just go 200 and 200, and then run it. It should be a bit more. So whatever, you get the point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, I'll eventually make a script in preview somewhere here that'll check the percentages of NFT record, like the percentages of each variant, and see and show you how accurately the percentages match up. It should be pretty close. It's going to be off by a bit because just because of the math and how the code works out. the more you have, the more accurate those percentages will be. But yeah, that's how that works. So awesome. Forget where I left off. Let me just grab some water here. All right, so we have, I'm just gonna go back here. Let me turn this down, back to 10. I guess I can do 200, but that might take a while. So let's just run the script again. Now we'll generate the NFT record and the batches again. So let's go to batches. So this is the record. There's a lot less now. Let's go to batch JSON files. So this is where all the batches will be stored. So you can see here that we have, we actually have more batches here, but that's okay because these were generated from that 50 batch. So there's a lot, there are a lot more here. So let me clean this up. And then just run it one more time. It writes over previous batches and previous JSON files if they're already in the folder. So we should just get one now. Awesome. So this one just has 10. And this is the batch that we're going to be rendering. So let's go, we want to go back to config here. So in config, after we've run the, I just realized, Ms., do you want me to show you the, oh no, it should show. Yeah, let me just show you the duplicate checker here. So here, if you have multiple batches, it will show you the duplicate count for each batch individually. If you have, like, say 1,000 NFTs per batch or something large like that, it'll just break it down for you here, and it'll print each DNA that's been duplicated. So yeah.
I have a quick question on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it checking for, like, across the entire global list, or is it only checking based off of, like, each individual batch?
It's checking based on the batch, just on each individual batch.
So there could potentially be duplicates between batch 2 and batch 5, right?
You're right. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, there isn't a potential for it, but there isn't a potential for it now, because I've patched that. So if I change it, let me figure out a way to change it. But if
Yes.
I change it so it's just the record.
Conversation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my question also. But I was thinking, could you make maybe a duplicate check for, the global list?
Yeah.
Like the one you showed before, where there is like all the DNA lists are in one NFT records.
Yeah, I can probably do that. I don't know how easy that would be.
Thank you.
Let me just look here.
Yes.
Duplicate checker. Because it grabs. Oh. Let me see. Hold on. This might take a second. This is just some. Hold on. I just have to change the file path here, so let me go to config. I don't have one for NFT record. The keyboard. Looking for save plus. I guess I can do OS join now, but whatever. What will save path? Oh yeah, that should work. Okay, let me just get that name. And this is just my lack of foresight while coding this. That's actually a brilliant way of doing it. I should have NFT record. Okay. I should have done that before. Yeah, that should work. Guess we don't need I. Oh, right, we don't need that. Okay. And then we can just do this. Sorry, sorry if I'm quiet, I'm just trying to think this through. We just need to config. That might do. This might have to change because that's different. List. Right, we don't need that or that. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try it, see if that works. Uh-oh, okay, that crashed. I wonder why it did that. Huh, okay. I might not be able to get it working on stream here, but there's definitely a way to do that. I just gotta figure it out. But yeah, the reason, I don't even know why I did it by batch in the first place. I think I was just I was doing it with everything in one batch. If that makes sense. I don't know, I can't remember. I made duplicate checker .py a long time ago, so let me just close this. Yeah, there's something in here. It's just simple. I just gotta change the file that it checks to NFT record. I'll probably do that sometime tonight, honestly, because it's when I have an idea or when something like this happens, I need to get it over with, so I don't think about it for too long. Okay, so I think that script's broken right now, so let me just set that to false. So I'll get that up. I'll commit that sometime tonight. It should just be like some messing around with the files and yeah. Okay. Does that make sense? Does anyone else have any more questions? Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, so that's, I did some reading about that. It's to prevent a Stack Overflow. And loops. I don't know exactly how it works, but I did see that error a couple times. It should be solved with the new way I have the exporter or the DNA generator set up. Let me find the line. Create. There we go. So this line right here, this is the function that creates a random DNA. So if you have rarity turned off, this is what will activate. And this creates the string. And then this partial selects, or this partial checks to make sure that every NFT DNA is unique, and then this parses it to this set right here, and then I just convert that to a list, and then that works. I don't know entirely how it works, but I know it runs, and there aren't any duplicates. So anyway, and it's really fast. So does that make sense? All right. See here. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry to interrupt you, because actually I have a friend who found out just how to make animation with your script.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, and I can tell you how he did it, but I think you have changed the image generator to be the export.py. So I'm not sure if it still works, but
yeah.
When it was inside the image generator, it was the line 165.
165. Okay, let me check.
Yes, and just need to add animation true.
Right. I'm gonna guess, so that this is probably the line now after I've changed a bunch of stuff. This might be it.
Yeah, it's here, I think.
Yeah.
So before the root is still true, you just add animation true, and I think it will work.
Right, before right still?
Yeah, before right still, yeah.
Okay. All right, let me make a note of that.
Maybe a point or a dot. I don't know.
Because I want to make it. I'll make it so that it's a toggle in config that you can turn on. That's awesome. I was trying to scratch my head. I was scratching my head at how to do that.
Yeah, my friend just found it because he was looking at into the documentation of Blender. Then I tried it with the version before the image generators worked, so it was really great.
Yeah.
But I just added some other number after the name, after the file name. It was adding actually the keyframe number after the file name. But I think there can be a way to save this problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't you need to have it create like a subfolder or something for each animation sequence? Otherwise, you're just going to get them all dumped in the root.
Yeah, so you could probably, the way I want to set it up is so that it changes this file path to
like file path plus subfolder, then image path sort of thing.
Yeah, with like a for loop in there somewhere. I got to figure that out. So yeah, that's the idea. I guess if you that would be impossible. Well, you could render them each individually, like all of the ones in NFT record, each animation, but that might take a while to do it.
Yeah, that'd take a long.
But yeah, they would just be down to on this line here in 137, just changing this to some subfolder for each animation, and then some kind of for loop. I got to think through that. So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You figured it out, because I was looking through. I can't remember where the link is now, but looking through that, trying to figure that out. So yeah, I'll look into that.
Okay, and you need to change the file format to be like a AVI JPEG. Then you can have the
Right. Okay.
the config.
That's awesome. All right. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. I don't have an animation file set up right now, so I'll do that in the future. Awesome. All right. Does anyone else have any more questions? Oh,
Never.
until the
Never
project's
done.
done. I have no clue, honestly. I think by December it'll be 95% there. Like a coding project's never really done. There's always more you can add to it. So I say December, maybe mid-January, around there. It'll be in the add-on, like the Blender add-on phase, so you can interact with a GUI in here somewhere. And I think then I'd be comfortable with calling it done, but there's always more stuff to do. I've found out with this project. So with any project, really, there's always more you can do. So yeah, around, I forget what the question is. Yeah, so Milena, around December, maybe January would be where I like slow down the coding. I'll still do like bug fixes and little features and stuff, but around January, December would be where I'd trail off. But you never know. I could do like 1,000 more commits. I have no idea what I'm saying, so it depends. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing you could eventually get into is like, menu icons. Like if you right click on an object or a collection or something, you assign it to an attribute or whatever. I mean, like it could get.
Yeah,
you could go real deep down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's tons of customization stuff that I could probably do. But yeah. Anyway, too much stuff to talk about there. lots of features to implement. All right. But yeah. So,
have you thought at all about like connecting with Blender Network and maybe getting like a grant to develop it and stuff like that?
I don't actually. No, I haven't looked into that. What's it called?
Blender. So like the Blender Foundation, right? They're the ones who develop Blender.
Yeah.
But through the Blender Foundation, you can actually apply for grant or connection, and then like they can promote it or they can pay you to develop the features and even incorporate it into a main branch if it's
really
like so. Yeah, it's really cool. I was a part of a project that got $50,000 given to them by Blender Foundation. So
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, exactly. So it's
I'll look into.
They're always looking for like new new utilities or new features. Of course, NFTs are really big, so it could be a great thing to apply for.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll look into it. I feel more comfortable applying for that when the UI is all done.
Right.
But yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I know a couple of people said to put it on Blender Marketplace and get it on there. So I'll look at that stuff in the future. But yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. All right, so I'll be moving on. I'll answer questions at the end of this segment here. Let's just see where we left off. So we have this batch file, and we have 10 DNA in it. So we have 10 NFTs in this one batch file here. Let me just see. Oh, I gotta open this thing here. Let me just close this. Wow. All right. So I've just opened this Blender file up again. And this is where the new code sort of starts. Excuse me. Where the new code starts to come in. So all you really have to do is just go to this enable exporter and just do true. Set it to true, and then if I didn't mess this up, it should work. It looks like I messed it up. All right, let's see. Live troubleshooting. Oh, okay. I think. Right. Okay, I gotta run the thing again because it didn't save those changes to the record. So let me do that again. So we go back here, we go false. Run this one more time. Again, works, which is good. And then we set this to true. So now it'll enable the exporter. So it'll generate the images, it'll generate the 3D models or the animations if you have that set up. Let's go to Blender again and click run. So it should be pretty speedy. As you can see, lots of stuff is happening here. A lot of stuff. Okay, that's actually concerning. I don't know what it's doing now. That's a lot of images. I'm gonna quit that. That's scary. Something very weird happened there. Let's see what it output. Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely an animation. I think it was rendering an animation.
Oh yeah.
Because I think animation was set to true.
Yep.
Which means you were right, Ms.
Yes, it does work. I didn't even know I changed that. Okay, that's awesome. Oh wait, yeah, I did change it. Right, so that's an animation. Okay, that's why. That's awesome. Okay, that works. I might look into as well including like a compiler so that it creates a GIF as well in the future whenever I get around to doing that animation stuff. But yeah, it works. That's awesome. Okay.
Yes, and if you change the file to AVI JPEG, and then you can just have a single animation exported.
Oh, really? Okay. So it doesn't even have to...
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like lots of images.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. What was it? SVG and JPEG, I think. Where did it go? Here, I forget how you set the... format. Hold on.
You can change the format, I think, in the config. The config.
This here.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay. And then that should work.
I don't think SVG is. Yeah, I think Ms. was talking about AVI.
Yes, you put. I think it's AVI underscore JPEG. Then you have the animation.
Oh, underscore JPEG.
Yes.
Oh wait, I'm messing this up. Hold on. Sorry, I'm not. Oh my god. I'm not used to these clacky keyboards. I'm so sorry. Okay, like that. AVI underscore JPEG.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me just clear the folders here.
So what you're saying is, to repay you for all the hard work you've done, we need to buy you a non-clicky keyboard.
No. I'm good with the clicky keyboard. I'll suffer through it. All right. Let me see. Let's run that again. It scared me. I was wondering what was going on. Why so many images? I'm going through my head wondering what's it called? What I could have committed to the main branch that would have broken it. Alright, so let me see what it outputs here. There we go. Wow. I'm not sure if it's done. Still loading. I don't know how many frames it will render out, but...
Probably the default, which is 250, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. 50.
Alright. Hey, it's done. Okay. Let's watch this very exciting animation. Wow. Look at those still cubes, everyone.
Man, that's amazing.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
This is what I came here for.
Yeah. It's like, it's so much better, and it's generating the second one. Wow. That's really cool. Thank you for showing that showing that to me, Ms. That's awesome. I'll definitely add this to config so that it works.
I just
what's it called?
Question. Yes, sorry.
Oh yeah.
About exporter. I was wondering that, like, the second time when you change the exporter to true, I mean in the config.py, I think.
Yep.
And you run it, will it just recreate the JSON file? Like, because the first time it created the JSON file, but the second time when you run it, will it just recreate the JSON file?
Yeah. So the JSON file already exists, so it just writes over it. So it opens I forget how it works exactly, but it opens a JSON file in that directory and then writes over whatever's there. So if you already have like a batch and NFT record generated, it'll just write over everything that's in that JSON file. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. All right, so we have tons of very fascinating animations here. That's awesome. Okay. I don't know how many I have set up. I have 10, so it's at 5 so far. All right, so let me cancel it. And then...
Yeah, that would be eventually a nice feature as an interrupt.
Yeah.
I know it's probably kind of hard to put in there, but...
Yeah, I've looked into it. I found a way to just crash Blender with
All right.
the thing, so that's cool. Getting there.
Great.
But I got to look into expect and try things. I think there's some way that I could do that, or maybe just in the console something. I don't know. I have to figure out how to do that. Because if you're just running, like, if you accidentally type 1,000 zeros, it'll generate millions of them. So that would be nice to have. But just remember, for now, just remember to save your all your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I can use this. So we have, it does generate. Okay. So let's go back here. In config here, we specified that we want animations generated and 3D models. So the name of this variable is kind of important. So enable models Blender is referring to exporting 3D models from your .blend file. And now there's another one down here. So what this does is it takes in 3D models from a external repository. So what I mean by that is, let's see. So there are two folders up here, one called 3D model input and one called 3D model output. So this is some older code. So I'm gonna redo it so that it works a little bit better. So what you would do is you would put a repository of 3D models similarly structured to the Blender collections, and you would stick them all in here, and then run main.py with that enabled, with this set to true, and then it will export. It will export all the possible combinations of them to this file as 3D models specified here, and it will take into account max NFTs, and yeah, it's quite limited in features. It doesn't, this side thing doesn't really doesn't take into account rarity or collection structures, so everything has to just be one object to import it if it's like a variant. There's more information on the README file on the GitHub page if you want to learn more about that, but for the future I'm planning on redoing all that so that it imports an external repository of 3D models into Blender with the same collection conventions and structures as this right here. So if you have like a 3D model here and like a folder called cube in your 3D model input folder here, it will import everything for you automatically into the correct conventions here. So that's a future project right now. It doesn't do that. It just sort of haphazardly moves them in, generates random NFT, and then exports it as a combined model. But yeah, that'll be improved sometime in the future. But right now it just does that. So are there any questions about that? That's not, yeah, if anyone has any questions about that, just let me know. I think, all right, yeah, I already talked. Okay. All right, awesome. Let's go back up here. I'll explain more. So we generated some animations, and when we ran main.py with the exporter enabled, we'll have a new folder here in this NFT output folder. So let's click on this, and we notice there's a batch 1 folder here. So if you generate multiple batches and iterate through them with this number up here, with this render batch number. So if you set that to 2 and you have like 2 batches, it'll render that second batch as well. So let's go in here. This is batch 1. We have 3 folders here. We have models, images, which are actually animations, and then NFT metadata. So because we set enable images to true and enable models Blender to true, it exported those two into 2 separate folders. So here we have all the images, all the animations we have here, and then the models here. So let's open up one. I don't know if I can open these up. There we go. Windows has that. Okay, that's cool. Mac doesn't have inbuilt 3D model viewer like this. So we can see that it exported this as a .jlb file up here. And let's go to the equivalent animation here. So we can see that this is identical to the model 1. Let me just organize this so you can see. So we have text 1, cube, cyan or blue, and curve right there. So it'll export them all in the same order for each model or image if you're doing multiple file types. This next one here, this is the metadata. So this will be the metadata for that one that I just showed you. We selected, I think, Solana as our metadata format. I don't know where it is. Yeah, right here. So we have Solana selected. So it exports all this stuff here. It just parses through all this information to the array stored as a JSON. So these are, for Solana at least, it changes for different blockchains if you're using a different format. But the attributes will be here. Trait type and value are the trait type is the attribute, and value is the variant that's selected for that one NFT. So a lot of the stuff is just blank because that's what you have to fill in when you upload it to a candy machine or a minting service or something like that. So yeah, so that's how that works. So it will export metadata, models, and images, or in the future animations when I commit that to the main branch. And yeah, does anyone have any questions about that? All right, awesome. All right, so I think that's it. I can get into the preview mode if you guys are interested in that. Let me just see what else there is here. Does anyone have any questions in general, like how to use any of this stuff here? Any specifics?
Sorry, excuse me, it's me again.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm still here. I was wondering, because I was thinking about it, because I actually prefer the method before that I need to run the image generator myself, because then I can, because I actually want, after just I run the main the config.py, then I always have a look at the JSON, the JSON file, to check all the batch list, the ADN list. Then sometimes I can delete some, and then sometimes I can change some manually.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So if I run the new one, then it will just rush on, change the
Right, it'll do it all for you.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so let me.
But I can still run the image generate old one, right?
Yeah, you can with main. I can show you how to do that. Oh, do you mean the image generator with the previous, the older version?
Yeah. Yeah, the older version, the previous one.
I don't think it will work because there's a bunch of stuff that's changed now. It might. There will be things missing, like the metadata. But the image generator by itself should do the same thing. So if you want to run it separately, it's just renamed to exporter now. So if
sorry, it doesn't matter. Just I was just saying like this. Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. All right. Yeah, so I think I understand. So you just come down here and then copy this function right here, and then just have it so that it's down there. So it should run. I think I've made modifications to this, so let me just get rid of this. So that just for this example, so it just does images, so it does it quickly. That should work. So after we've added this function to exporter, are you trying to run exporter like the image generator, or are you trying to run the image generator with the newest version of Blend My NFTs?
Yeah, I was trying to run the image generator with the newest version.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it might not work. I can't guarantee that'll work because that's an older version of the file, so I don't even know if it will run properly. But if you want to run it in the same way, then you can do it here with the thing. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question there?
Yes. Sorry for the time.
It's okay. I want to make sure I get everyone's questions here. Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So does anyone have any more questions? All right. I don't know how long it's been. An hour. All right. So I think I can show you guys the preview. Yeah, so let's do that. So let's set this back to false. Just setting the enable exporter here to false. And then everything else should stay the same. I'll change this to JPEG. Just quickly for this example. Yeah, so I'm just going to run the preview script really quick, and this will show you sort of like a preview of what your render will look like. So it's easier if I just run it here. So let me set this to true. I'll explain what this max NFTs test does in a bit. Yeah, so let's just go here. We go main again. Main will just run everything. So we have this set to true. That's broken. I think I broke that. Yeah, it should work. So let me go back in here. I'll just delete this. I just have a clean slate here. And if you run preview, it will write over your JSON files and your batch stuff. So it'll delete it all. So just make sure that you do this before. Where's the delete? There we go. Just make sure you run it before you're doing like your actual like final rendering, I guess. So after I've done all that, let's just go here and let me open the console and let's click run. Of course it doesn't work. Maybe it's broken then. I'll have to take a look at that. Never mind, maybe it won't work. Let's see what else. Maybe I messed something up with the code on here while I was messing around with stuff, but that should work. And what it will do is it will just display like an example of like what the full process will be. So it'll, let me bring it up here. So this is the file. So this is everything that it'll print in the console. So it'll print all these warnings or whatever, and it'll say a bunch of stuff: NFTs per batch, image name, image file format, operating system, save path, possible DNA combinations, like just a bunch of information about the config file just to confirm that the program's reading it properly if you want to try to debug it. It also will print the maximum number of NFTs, the maximum possible number of NFTs down here, and then the max number of NFTs that you set in config there. So that's what those do. There's more down here. These are just some edge cases. If you have like a remainder greater than 0, it'll print this and just tell you what the remainder is. And if the remainder equals 0, it'll up here it'll tell you that there's going to be one incomplete batch, and then down here it will tell you that all batches are complete. So that's that. There's some settings down here. It'll just tell you just some settings. I haven't updated this, so there are some that are missing, but I just use it mostly just to make sure that I haven't broken anything while I'm creating things in on my MacBook. So there's all these settings here. There's enable 3D models. There's color generation. It'll give you the list of colors. Tell you if rarity is enabled. And then down here, this is the cool thing. So it'll tell you when. It'll tell you how much time it will take to render the maximum NFTs that you've set in config. So up here, like let's say you have like a really big NFT project and you're going to do 10,000. and let's just for funsies say that we have 10,000 NFTs per batch. It will calculate. It will render 5 images, or it will render. It'll render whatever this number is set to, number of random images. So it'll generate that number of random NFT images, and then it'll time it and give you a number based on how much that took. So the code for that's in this render test file, and then it'll just give you like a time estimate in seconds for how long that'll take, and I forget where the mathy part is for that, somewhere here. Yeah, so this is the time that it takes to render the 10,000 images, and it takes the value from config here. So that's just to give you like an estimate. It works. I know it works on my Mac. I don't know. I did a lot of messing around with the code on here, so that's probably why. So yeah, so that, I wish I could show you guys that. Yeah, does anyone have any more questions? I'm just going to be wrapping up.
Oh man, this is awesome. Thank you for going through this.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Yeah, I'm going to be getting off now. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone for coming. I hope I answered everyone's questions. There will be some more commits today and tomorrow and over the weekend especially. So I'll be adding more stuff along there. Animation and probably fixing the duplicate checker so it just checks the NFT record. And yeah, thanks for coming, and I'll see you guys around. So yeah, all right.
Thanks, Torin. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Torin.